in the decade when Russia annexed 2 parts of sovereign nations and took it as their own, we cannot leave Russia unguarded. We cannot leave the Baltics at the risk and at the fear that Russia will one day annex them just the same. We must put an enhanced forward presence to deter Russia from coming in, to deter Russia from annexing it, just like Crimea, just like South Ossetia. We already asked them, the POI, whether you'd rather keep these Baltics unguarded, unmilitarized like Crimea, like how Ukraine treated Crimea when they're unable to defend themselves and leave it for Russia to annex. They failed to answer that POI. They'd rather leave the Baltics for Russia. They'd rather leave Poland for Russia. We don't think that's the case in today's debate. 3 main rebuttals in points of contention before we move on. Firstly, we challenge them on the context that they set in, that Russia is not a threat. Looking at the pretext before this motion, where Russia walked into Georgia with their military and started handing out passports to the people and annexed the province of South Ossetia, or when a couple years ago, Russia walked into Crimea with their military and handed out passports and annexed it as their own. We tell you they're not a good actor. They're not acting out of fear. They're acting out of aggression. They're acting out of wanting to be back in the power of Soviet Union. They were telling you they're aggressive, we cannot leave them like that. Second point of rebuttal, their model has basically depended on what has happened already. They say international condemnation, international sanctions. We've already been doing that and nothing has happened. International sanctions after they annexed part of Georgia did not stop Crimea. International sanctions after annexation of Crimea did not stop them from acting even more aggressively and acting even more aggressively in other parts of the world. We tell you that their model has failed. We tell you we need to keep these states sovereign. We need to defend these states, and we'll tell you what means a better enhanced forward presence. And third idea, that people don't feel safe. We agree with them. The people of the Baltics don't feel safe when there's a major hostile superpower right at their doorstep. A lot of these countries actually prefer to have the NATO enhanced forward presence in their house. As many surveys in these countries show that over 60% of them welcome the enhanced forward presence. They want to feel secure. They want to feel that not just any random day, Mr. Putin will just order the Baltics to become a new province of Russia. We tell you people feel safer in that regard. But before moving on,
how can a few thousand soldiers make them feel safe and make them and protect them in face of Russia?
Side proposition fails to see what the NATO enhanced forward presence is. It's not just sending 1 battalion of soldiers to stand out there in the forest. It's a whole system of training soldiers, getting readiness of soldiers from multiple countries, all over, from all international countries, from all members of NATO, and not only that, but the local military themselves to try to train and get ready for Russia. We tell you that even if this is not effective, which we argue it is, even if it's not, it's better than leaving them on their own, like side proposition is arguing for. We tell you because of this, we think that's the point, right? So we're going to prove to you 4 main things in today's debate, because we argue that when the cat's away, the mice will play. We're going to prove to you 4 main things. Firstly, how and why Russian aggression has put these countries in jeopardy. Number 2, why NATO's enhanced forward presence is necessary to maintain peace and order. And my second speaker will be elaborating on the implications of NATO's actions on the international community. And fourthly, why the stability of Eastern Europe is beneficial to the international community as a whole. On the first argument on how and why Russian aggression has put these countries in jeopardy. Firstly, we tell you that right now, Russia is a dying power, right? We tell you that they want to become influential. They want to become as powerful like they were back in the Soviet Union or during the age of the Cold War. They want to regain that influence. Because of this, they've been acting very aggressive. We look to the example of Crimea and South Ossetia, where they went in and took their land. We tell you they want their territory back, they want their influence back. Secondly, we look at how they have already annexed the state of South Ossetia and Crimea as a part of 2 sovereign nations. We look at the pretext of these actions, right? So the pretext of it is basically that number 1, they're part of the Soviet Union before. Number 2, they're very influential strategic locations. And number 3, when they walked in, there was 0 resistance. We tell you that because of this, they were able to walk in, right? They were able to, whenever these countries wanted to act towards the West, wanted to lean towards the West, we tell you that that doesn't work, right? We tell you that Russia has stepped in. We tell you, so we move on to 3 points. We have to recognize that the Baltics and Poland are very much alike with these countries. Number 1, they're ex-Soviet Union. Number 2, they hold strategic value. For example, the Baltics hold the entire key for Russia to the Baltic Sea, and the country of Estonia holds a connection point between Kaliningrad, the small province of Russia on the map, to the mainland Russia. We tell you in the same way they hold strategic value, the ex-Soviet nations, they can do basically the same thing they did with Crimea and South Ossetia. We tell you that in this case, we must prevent Russia from stepping in. We must prevent Russia from acting as they did before. We are able to do this with an enhanced forward presence by eliminating one variable that made them able to annex the two parts of the world. The fact that there's no military resistance, right? We tell you that if we put military there, Russia will think twice before walking in, think twice before coming in, because they now have to know that there will be confrontation, right? They can't just walk in, hand out passports and expect that to be part of their land. We tell you that because NATO's enhanced forward presence is there, they will think twice, they will be able to do that. We think that if Crimea had this, we think that if South Ossetia had this to begin with, had a military resistance that was capable of putting up with Russian military, we tell you that they would not be a part of Russia today, right? Sir. Moving on to my second substantive on why NATO's enhanced forward presence is necessary to maintain peace and order in the region. Number one, we tell you as a status quo, NATO's core principle of Article 5, which states that the attack against one nation constitutes an attack against all allies. We tell you that right now, in status quo, the image is being deteriorated. We look to Donald Trump, who's been saying a lot about Article 5 and whatnot. We look to Western Europe, where there's been a rise in populism. We tell you the message today is not as strong. It's not strong enough to deter Russia as a message on its own. We tell you that because of this, to my second point, because of this, Russia wants to test NATO in lesser forms, not necessarily to walk up with troops, but to test them through cyber attacks, through political engineering, and through other means of social, economic forms, right? We tell you that because we look to the example of the cyber attack they unleashed a couple months ago, like called WannaCry. We tell you that these are examples of them trying to test NATO, and it's caused unrest, unsecure regions and population and society within the Baltics. We tell you that we need to stop this, and we'll tell you why the enhanced forward presence does this, right? We tell you the enhanced forward presence is something Russia is not willing to confront with, because Russia's military is outnumbered 1 to 12 with NATO. Therefore, because it cannot tolerate confrontation, it cannot tolerate a fight against NATO, we tell you that they'll stop testing it when we put NATO's enhanced forward presence there. When we show them, number one, that Article 5 is alive and well, and number two, the fact that if they do anything towards these sovereign nations that are part of NATO, they will have to confront with NATO troops, and they will lose in that case. We tell you that this prevents them from acting aggressively. We tell you this prevents them from acting through trying to test out NATO's power and NATO's sovereign form, right? So because we want a strong Baltic area, because we want strong sovereign nations and international law to be respected, because we want Russia to stop acting aggressively, and because we want to deter Russia from coming in to sovereign nations and taking it much like Crimea, much like South Ossetia, we need NATO's enhanced forward presence there to deter Russia from coming in. To make sure that when they walk into Estonia, Latvia, or Lithuania, they know that there's going to be a fight they have to put up with. For all these reasons, we are very proud to oppose.
First speaker of opposition team